So we're up to our fourth rule on our formula sheet. It's the cosine rule. Well, it's actually the third one that's on there though. Remember, we've got the sine rule only written in one form. We just have to remember to turn it upside down. So the cosine rule for sides is a formula. It's the formula with cosine in it. It's about that long. It's a huge long formula, but it's still, we're dealing with that same triangle labeling. So the rule is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2 times b times c cosine a. Whew. You don't have to remember it, right? On your formula sheet and will be on your formula sheet for the test. But that's what it is. So what have we got up there? Lots of letters. In fact, how many letters? 4 different ones. 1 angle and 3 sides. So when we were doing the sine rule, it was 2 angles and 2 sides opposite each other. This one doesn't have 2 angles. So lots of triangles, there may only be 1 angle. You can't find the other 2 because if you don't know 2 things in a triangle, you can't add them up to 180. There's lots of things those 2 things could be. So the cosine rule is for finding, this particular one is to help us to find a side. That side must be opposite the angle. So it's the same sort of thing. Check this. I'm not really impressed. Opposite, same sort of thing as the area of triangle, right? Standing here on the angle, holding on to the sides. It's that same relationship. You've got an angle, 2 sides, and remember I said there's only one thing that can go over there. That's what we're finding. So let's have a look at a picture, a diagram. Still looking at these triangles that look kind of like this. We've got this being 37 degrees, this being 12.1, I'm going to put a unit on it this time, this being 8.9 centimetres, and we're trying to find P. So we need to label it. So you want to label the angle first, A, so that you know where you're going. A, little a, B, C. B and C don't matter because we're doing the same thing to each of them. B squared plus C squared is the same as C squared plus B squared. B times C is the same as C times B. So it doesn't matter which way around you put those two. There's no rule about that. Just the A's that need to be in the right places. So it takes a little while to substitute it in. So we've got P squared equals B is 12.1 squared plus 8.9 squared minus 2 times 8.9 times 12.1 times cosine of 37 degrees. Because those are all times, they're all going to be done before it subtracts. Alright, so you can just type this straight across on your calculator. Luckily the calculator knows BEDMAS and it will do this first before it takes it off. Okay, so it's really important that you type it all in really well. And what do you get? Right, go. 12.1 squared plus 8.9 squared minus 2 times 8.9 times 12.1 times cosine 37 equals. What do we get? Anybody get something else? What did you get, Caleb? Oh, I know. 53.61. My calculator's going to be in another measurement instead. So annoying. I have to keep shifting it and setting it up. Right. So, what does that equal? P squared. We don't want P squared, we want P. So, square root it. 53.61 equals 7.32 centimetres to 2 decimal places. Right, so the whole thing typed out. Then we square root it. You can use inverse square root, inverse answer, or whatever it is, second shift. So here you could use shift, square root, shift, answer, rather than typing it out. More accurate because it holds the whole answer in here, so you get a more accurate answer. But that's basically it. So